I'm Emma Carter, 17, living in a small town outside Atlanta, Georgia, where old oak trees line the roads and truck horns echo every night. But to me, this town isn't just weathered wooden houses or the fresh-cut grass smell. It's a cage, beautiful, peaceful, but suffocating. I don't belong here, not fully. My heart beats to a different rhythm, one only a cold wooden floor and my worn-out dance shoes understand. Dance is everything to me. When I spin, the world fades. No more mom's nagging, no more Jake's smirking looks, no more whispers from kids at school. It's just me, the music, and a burning freedom blazing in my chest. Every move is a statement. Every leap is a silent scream that I'm alive. I exist. I matter. I've spent hours in the tiny basement room, sweat soaking my shirt, knees bruised from falls, but a smile still on my face. Because deep in my soul, I know dance isn't just a hobby, it's my breath, my dream, my way out of this town. But my family doesn't see it. To Mom, dance is child's play, something I'll grow out of like a summer fever. To Jake, my 19-year-old brother, Grayson High's football star, I'm just a faint shadow behind his spotlight. Jake's tall, blonde, with a grin bright as Georgia sunshine, the pride of our house. Mom hangs his medals all over the walls, bragging to neighbors every chance she gets. Dad, before he left when I was 10, said Jake would take the Carter family to the top. And me, I'm the quiet, clumsy little sister with old dance shoes and dreams no one bothers to notice. But I didn't let that stop me. For 6 months, I've secretly worked at Mrs. Maggie's donut shop after school. Sweet sugar stuck to my hair, late shifts left my legs aching, but every $5, every $10 I earned, went into a tin box under my bed. $500 total. Not much, but enough for a bus ticket and the national dance competition in New York. That contest isn't just a stage, it's my golden ticket, my shot to prove I'm more than Jake Carter's sister. I pictured myself under bright lights, spinning for hundreds of people, finally seen, truly seen, for the first time. I kept that secret like a precious gem, holding it close every night as I practiced. I watched YouTube videos of dancers, copying every move, dreaming of the day I'd step onto a big stage. I even picked my piece, a powerful mix of Clair de Lune, slow notes bursting into an emotional storm. That's me. Gentle yet fierce, patient yet ready to explode. I counted down the days, my heart racing like it might jump out of my chest. 2 weeks left, just 2 weeks, and I'd be gone. But living in the Carter house means nothing stays secret forever. Mom's got hawk-sharp eyes, always watching, always suspicious. I tried to be careful, hiding my dance shoes under clothes, locking the basement door when I practiced, lying that I worked to buy new outfits. But every time she looked at me, I felt her gaze cut through, like she knew I was hiding something big. And Jake? He didn't care, as long as I didn't bother him. "You're quiet as a mouse, Emma," he once smirked, tossing his shiny football. "Keep it that way, don't mess me up." I didn't hate Jake, not really. He's my brother, and we used to be close. Afternoon chases in the yard, him teaching me to throw a ball. But as he grew, as football took over, he changed. Or maybe I did. I didn't want to be the good little sister in his shadow anymore. I wanted to step into the light, to hear applause for me, not him. This town didn't help. In Grayson, football's king, and Jake's the prince. Kids at school saw me as a shadow. Jake's sister, huh? Cool. They didn't know, didn't care, that I had my own dreams, that I'd poured sweat and tears into making them real. But I didn't need them to get it. I just needed New York, that stage, a chance to show I'm not invisible. So I kept dreaming, counting every dollar, every day. I didn't know everything was about to crumble, that my family would rip that dream from my hands like they always did. But right then, in the damp basement, dance shoes hugging my feet, I still believed I could fly. I was wrong to think they'd let me spread my wings. Those next days passed in a thick fog of waiting and worry. I counted every hour, every minute, until the bus to New York, my heart pounding like a trapped bird desperate to break free. I thought I'd been smart, hiding my dream under a good girl mask, working quietly, practicing silently. But I underestimated Mom, underestimated how she always found the cracks in the walls I built to protect myself. It all started that Wednesday night. I came home from work, hands still greasy with donut oil from Mrs. Maggie's shop. My sneakers squeaked on the old wooden floor, and I felt the air turn heavy the second I walked in. Mom sat on the couch, her cold, sharp eyes locked on me like a cat stalking prey. In front of her was my tin box, the one where I hid my $500 for the competition. My heart sank, ice flooding my veins, like someone had dumped a bucket of cold water over me. "What's this, Emma?" Mom's voice was low, each word a sharp blade. She popped the lid, showing the crumpled bills I'd carefully stacked. I froze, mouth dry, mind scrambling for an excuse. I saved up to buy stuff," I stammered, knowing the weak lie wouldn't fool her. "Buy stuff?" She let out a dry laugh, no joy in it. "Don't lie to me, Emma Carter. I found the dance competition form in your bag. New York! You were gonna sneak off, weren't you?" She shot up, closing the gap between us, her hot breath stinging my face. "Who do you think you are, pulling something this stupid while we're all busting our backs for Jake?" My chest tightened, like an invisible hand was squeezing the life out of me. "I wasn't sneaking," I shot back, voice shaky but holding firm. "I just wanted to compete. I saved up, I could handle it. Why can't you let me do what I want just once?" But she didn't listen. She swung her arm, pointing at the wall of Jake's medals. "Jake's our family's chance. His tournament could get him to college, could change our lives. And you? You think dancing around somewhere's gonna do anything but leave you empty-handed? Don't be so selfish, Emma." "Selfish" pierced me like an arrow, so sharp I nearly collapsed. Me? Selfish? After nights working till I dropped, practicing in the dark so I wouldn't bother anyone? I wanted to scream, to shatter this choking air. But I stood there, silent, tears ready to spill. Jake walked in then, hair wet from practice, a smug grin spreading as he took in the scene. "What's up, Mom?" he asked, casual, like he didn't care. Mom turned to him, her voice softening instantly. "Emma thinks she's more important than us, wants to waste money dancing in New York instead of helping you." Jake laughed, the sound hitting me like a punch to the gut. "Dancing? For real, Emma? You think that silly stuff beats my game? Don't make me laugh." I clenched my teeth, nails digging into my palms till they burned. "It's not silly," I snapped, staring him down for the first time. "It's my dream, Jake. Why can't you get it? Why can't anyone in this house get it?" But he just shrugged, shaking his head like I was a dumb kid begging for candy. "Wake up, Emma. No one cares about your little steps." Mom turned away, gripping the chair, her voice hoarse, almost choked. "You don't understand, Emma. When your dad left, I lost everything. Jake's all we have to keep this family from falling apart. He has to make it, because I can't take another failure." I stood there, stunned, but the anger still roared. Mom was sacrificing me to fix her own pain. I bolted to the basement, slamming the door, fighting back the tears pouring out. I curled up on the floor, clutching my dance shoes, feeling the world crash around me. But that wasn't the worst part. Next morning, I opened the tin box to count my money, a habit that kept me hopeful, and it was empty. $500. Every dime I'd sweated for, gone. My heart stopped, then pounded like it had burst. I stumbled upstairs, legs shaking, facing Mom in the kitchen. "Did you take my money?" I yelled, voice cracking with rage and hurt. She didn't even look up from her coffee. "I used it to buy Jake new shoes," she said, calm as if it were nothing. "He needs good ones for the tournament. You don't need that money, Emma. Don't blow it up." It felt like a slap, not with hands, but with a storm of betrayal. "Don't need it?" I screamed, tears streaming free. "That was mine. I worked myself ragged for it. You had no right." But she just stared, eyes icy. "Don't be dramatic, Emma. The family needs this more than your pipe dreams." I staggered out of the kitchen, head spinning, heart shattered. School that day was worse. Word spread like wildfire. Someone blabbed, and Jake's friends knew. Heard you're ditching cash to dance in New York? Taylor, Jake's best friend, sneered as I passed in the hall. Give it up, Emma. Stick to cheering for Jake. Stop dreaming big. Even my English teacher, who once praised my writing, gave me a cold look in class. Emma, don't let this dancing nonsense distract Jake, she said, and the room erupted in laughs. I ducked my head, an invisible wall rising between me and everyone. In Grayson, I wasn't just Jake's sister. I was his roadblock, and no one wanted me to be more. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, tears soaking my pillow. Mom didn't regret it, Jake didn't care, and this town seemed to want me gone. I hugged my dance shoes, trapped in a nightmare with no way out. But then anger flared. Hot, fierce, burning through my despair. They didn't just take my money, they took my trust, my hope, me. At midnight, a bold idea sparked. Crazy, dangerous, but bright as the stage lights I craved. I'd go to New York. With just $20 left, nothing but my dance shoes, I'd go. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay there, dance shoes pressed to my chest, eyes glued to the ceiling in thick darkness. The clock ticked like a dying heartbeat, slow, steady, desperate. I felt stuck in a glass box, watching the world turn while I couldn't touch it. My $500 was gone, snatched by Mom like it was trash, like my dream was a joke. But inside me, a fire still flickered, small, trembling, but blazing hot, refusing to die. I couldn't let them snuff it out. I couldn't let them win. I sat up, breath ragged, mind racing with the idea from midnight. Go to New York. Now. No money, no plan, just $20 in my wallet and my dance shoes. But I had to go. One more day here, one more hour, and I'd vanish, become the shadow Mom and Jake wanted. I couldn't let that happen. I didn't want a life where I wasn't me. I got up quietly, bare feet shaking on the cold floor. I grabbed an old backpack from the darkest corner of my closet, stuffing in clothes, my dance shoes, a water bottle. My hands shook so bad I nearly dropped it, but I gritted my teeth, forcing focus. No time for fear. I glanced at the clock, 1:30 a.m. The night bus to New York left the station 2 miles away at 3 winds. If I walked fast, I'd make it. But first, I had to face them. Not to ask, but to tell them I wasn't their puppet anymore. I climbed the stairs, heart hammering like it had burst free. Mom's door was ajar, a faint yellow glow spilling from her lamp. I pushed it open, stepping in, backpack heavy on my shoulder. She sat up, hair a mess, eyes squinting from sleep. Emma? What's wrong? She asked, voice rough, then sharp with suspicion, as she saw me ready to leave. I'm going, I said, voice trembling but steady, like an arrow loosed. To New York. I'm not staying here as Jake's shadow. She blinked, then jumped up, bare feet hitting the floor with an angry thud. What are you saying? Don't be stupid, Emma. You've got no money, nothing. Where do you think you're going with that crazy head? Where's my money, Mom? I yelled, anger erupting like a volcano held back too long. You took it, stole it for Jake's shoes. I worked myself to death, sweat and cried for it, and you treated it like garbage. I'm not crazy. You're crazy if you think I'll stay here forever. She lunged, grabbing my arm, nails digging in painfully. You're not going anywhere, she shouted, eyes wild like a cornered animal. Jake's this family's big shot, not you. Where's dancing gonna get you? You're selfish, Emma, selfish enough to make me sick. I yanked free, tears streaming, but I didn't care. Selfish, I screamed back, voice breaking with pain and fury. You call me selfish for wanting to live for myself just once? You and Jake took everything, my money, my dream, my pride. I'm not your machine, not Jake's servant. I deserve a chance. Do you get that? I deserve it. Jake appeared at the door, probably woken by the yelling, eyes tired but still smug. What's all this noise, Emma? He muttered, rubbing his face. Go to bed. Stop bugging us. His indifference fueled me. I spun to him, pointing hard. Shut up, Jake. You think you're the universe, but I'm not your satellite. You've got everything. Mom's love, the town's cheers. I've got nothing. I won't let you steal my last dream. Mom cut in, voice icy. Stop dreaming, Emma. You're not going. Give me that backpack. She reached out, but I stepped back, clutching it like my life. No, I said, voice low but steel hard. I'm going. You can't stop me. I turned, bolted from the room, bare feet pounding the stairs. Mom yelled, Emma, get back here! But I didn't hear her. I threw open the front door, cold night air slamming my face like a wake-up call. Jake chased me, grabbing my shoulder at the porch. You're nuts, he growled. You'll regret this. I jerked free, staring him down, tears falling but eyes blazing. No, Jake, I regret staying here too long. I ran like never before, backpack thumping, bare feet raw on the pavement. Mom and Jake's voices faded behind me, but I didn't look back. I tore through Grayson's dark streets, heart wild, scared, and thrilled. I didn't know what I was doing, if I'd even reach New York, but I knew one thing. I couldn't go back. Ever. The bus station loomed ahead, hazy under yellow streetlights. I gasped for air, sweat dripping, but didn't stop. I dug out my crumpled 20s, all I had left. The ticket guy, an old man with silver hair, eyed me curiously. Where to, kid? He asked, voice warm. New York, I croaked, raw but determined. He nodded, handed me a ticket, and I boarded, legs trembling but steps sure. I sank into a window seat, the bus rumbling to life like a promise. Through the glass, Grayson's lights faded, swallowed by the dark. Tears fell again, but not from pain, from freedom. I had nothing but $20, my dance shoes, and a blazing heart. But I had me, and for the first time, that was enough. The bus roared into the night, and I whispered, I did it. I'm going. I didn't know what waited in New York, if I'd survive. But I'd broken that cage, and no one, not Mom, not Jake, not this town, could drag me back. The bus rolled through the dark, its engine humming a proud lullaby, carrying me away from Grayson, from the cage I once called home. I huddled by the window, hands gripping my backpack, breath still ragged from the mad dash. Outside, streetlights streaked by like shooting stars, blurry and distant. But inside, a strange feeling grew. Fear that shook me, excitement that stole my breath. I'd done it, I'd escaped. But as the bus plunged deeper into the night, cold reality hit like a bitter wind. I had $20, no place to stay, no one in New York. What was I doing with my life? The ride stretched nearly 12 hours, every minute a stubborn test. I didn't sleep. Couldn't. My mind spun with Mom's shouts, Jake's taunts, the empty tin box. Was I crazy? Had I just tossed my future out the window for a fragile dream? But every time doubt crept in, I squeezed my dance shoes, feeling the worn leather under my fingers, and told myself, I have to do this. I have to. When the bus pulled into Port Authority in New York, dawn was breaking, pale sunlight slipping through towering skyscrapers. I stepped off, bare feet stinging from the long night, backpack weighing me down. The city crashed into me like a wave, blaring horns, exhaust fumes, people rushing past like faceless ghosts. I stood there, small and lost, heart racing. This was New York, huge, chaotic, terrifyingly beautiful. But I had no time to gawk. The competition was tomorrow, and I had to survive until then. I wandered the streets, feet caked with grime, $20 burning in my pocket, like a cruel reminder. I bought a $2 loaf from a cart, nibbling to stave off hunger. But it still growled in my stomach. No place to crash, no cash for a room, no one to call. I slumped on a park bench, watching the crowd, feeling like a speck in a desert. Tears welled up, but I bit my lip, forcing strength. I won't quit, I whispered, voice hoarse. Not after all this. Then a small miracle happened. As I sat there, clutching my dance shoes like a lifeline, a girl my age walked up. She had fiery red hair, curious sparkling eyes, and a warm smile. Hey, you okay? She asked, soft but real. I hesitated, but something in her look made me trust her. Not really, I admitted, voice shaky. I came here to dance, but I've got nothing. She introduced herself as Mia, a freelance dancer from Brooklyn. When I told her my story, running from family, losing my money, down to $18, she didn't laugh or walk away. Instead, she grabbed my hand, pulling me up. Come with me, she said, firm. I've got a sofa corner at home. Not fancy, but enough to rest before your comp. I froze, tears spilling from gratitude. Why help me? I choked out. Mia shrugged, grinning. I've been a dream chaser too, I get it. That night, in Mia's tiny apartment, I lay on a creaky sofa, listening to New York's street hum. I practiced in a corner under dim yellow light, body aching but heart alive. Mia watched, nodding. You're good, Emma. Don't let anyone tell you different. Her words were medicine, soothing the scars Mom and Jake left. I danced till I dropped, sweat drenching me. Each move a declaration. I'm still here. I'm still fighting. Competition day came fast as a gust. Mia took me to Lincoln Center, and I stood before its huge doors, trembling like a leaf in a storm. Hundreds of dancers, gorgeous, confident pro, swept past, and I felt smaller than ever. But I gripped my shoes, took a deep breath, and walked in. No flashy costume, no crew, just me and Claire de Lune ringing in my head. My name was called. I stepped onto the stage, blinding lights hitting like a fist. The crowd hushed, hundreds of eyes on me, and for a second, I nearly ran. But the music started, Claire de Lune's first notes, gentle as moonlight, and I let my body lead. I spun, leaped, stretched, pouring my soul into every step. Each move screamed, each tilt shouted, I'm not invisible, I'm not anyone's shadow. I'm Emma Carter, and this stage is mine. The music swelled, bursting into an emotional tempest, and I danced like never before. I forgot hunger, exhaustion, Mom, Jake, Grayson. It was just me and the rhythm, fused in a fierce, beautiful dance. As the last note faded, I stopped, panting, sweat dripping. The crowd went silent, then erupted in applause, booming like thunder. I stood there, chest heaving, tears falling, not from sadness, but freedom. I'd done it. Result or not, I'd done it. I didn't win. A girl from LA, all glitz and prose, took first. But as I left the stage, a middle-aged man with a camera approached. Kid, I filmed your dance, he said, handing me a card. Send me more videos. I work with a dance crew here. My heart raced, hope flaring like a star. Mia hugged me tight, yelling, You were amazing, Emma! And inside, I knew she was right. I didn't need a trophy. I'd beaten myself, found the light I'd chased so long. I walked out of Lincoln Center into New York streets, feeling like a bird free from its cage. My $8 was gone, spent on coffee post-comp, but I wasn't scared. I had my shoes, Mia, and most importantly, me. I'd crossed Grayson's darkness, family betrayal, to find a stronger Emma. New York wasn't just a city, it was my new start, and I wouldn't look back. I stood in New York streets, afternoon sun filtering through skyscrapers, washing me in gold. My dance shoes sat in my backpack, pockets empty, but my heart light as ever. The competition was over, no medal, but I'd won something bigger. Me, a strong, free Emma, unbound by family's chokehold. I breathed deep, coffee scent mixing with cool air, feeling at home. Not in Grayson, not with them, but in myself for the first time. Mia stood beside me, her smile bright as stage lights. You did it, Emma, she said, patting my shoulder. Now what? I looked at her, then the bustling crowd, and smiled. Real, unguarded. I don't know, I said, voice airy. But this time, I decide. She laughed, dragging me for cheap sandwiches, and in that moment, I felt a deep peace I'd craved forever. But I couldn't stay in New York forever. No money, no plan. I had to go back to Grayson, not to give up, but to face them one last time, to draw the line I deserved. The bus ride home dragged, each mile pulling me toward old shadows. I clutched my backpack, reminding myself I wasn't that Emma anymore. Weak, quiet, resigned. I'd danced under New York lights, lived true, and no one could take that. When the bus stopped in Grayson, night had fallen. I stepped off, the familiar air, hay and crickets, hitting me like a memory. I walked home, feet steady, and opened the door. Mom sat on the couch, face tense. Jake leaned on the wall, avoiding my eyes. Silence hung for seconds, thick with anger, guilt, surprise. "Where were you, Emma?" Mom spoke first, voice shaky but trying to stay tough. "You had me worried sick. Don't you think about family?" I took a breath, dropped my backpack, met her gaze. "I went to New York," I said, calm but steel-edged. "I danced, like I told you. And I'm not sorry." She blinked, disbelieving. "You ran off, no money, nothing, to dance?" She snapped, standing. "Do you know how panicked Jake and I were?" Jake cut in, voice rough. "You embarrassed me, Emma. The whole town knows you bolted. Think I need this drama before my tournament?" I laughed dryly. Not joy, but bitter irony. "Embarrassed," I echoed, voice rising. "You took my money," Jake mocked my dream, "and you both expect me to sit quiet as his shadow. I'm not a decoration here. I've got dreams, worth, and I won't let anyone crush them again." Mom stepped back, eyes wide, my words hitting her. "Emma, I just want what's best for us," she said, softer, almost pleading. "Jake's got a big shot. Don't you see?" I moved closer, tears falling but not weak. "I see," I said, "but you don't see I've got my own shot. You chose Jake over me, so I chose myself over living for you." Jake mumbled something, but I raised a hand. "Don't, Jake. The world cheers you on. Don't take my little world, too." I turned to Mom, voice gentle but firm. "I don't hate you or him, but from now on, I live for me. If you want me in your life, respect that." She nodded slowly, eyes red like she'd speak, but didn't, and Jake turned away, shoulders stiff. I knew they heard, even if change was future's work. I walked upstairs, not needing their okay right then, just needing them to know I'd changed. Days later, I started teaching dance to town kids in the garage. It didn't pay much, but their smiles beat any medal. I wasn't Jake's sister anymore. I was Emma, dancer, dreamer, fighter. Looking back, New York wasn't just a trip. It was the fire that burned the old me to birth a new one. I don't need family to validate me anymore. I'm enough, just as I am. And if you're reading this, I've got something for you. Don't let anyone kill your dream. Big or small, it's yours, and you deserve to fight for it. I did, and you can too. Thanks for sticking with me on this ride. From Grayson to New York, pain to freedom. I'm so grateful for every one of you who's read, felt my story. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your dreams, the times you stood up for you. Let's shine together, okay? Thank you from the bottom of my heart.